My name's Ben, and I'm from Ashburn, Virginia, and I wanted to talk to you guys about how it gets better. Um, there was always a really big female influence in my life. My dad and I didn't really have the closest relationship. I'm 24. I've been gay since I was in 8th grade, so 13 is when I officially came out. But I've known since I was in 2nd grade. I am the child of a biracial marriage, so my mom is white and my dad is black, and they're both from the South. I'm the youngest of 3. I have 2 older sisters, one 16 years older than I am, and the other one is 6 years older than me. My dad tried really hard when we were little I was his only son, so, we would go on bike rides, or we'd go to the field and we'd, play catch, or, I think I played t-ball at one point. He signed me up for Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, and, the first time I ever got called queer was actually at Boy Scouts, and it was hard for me to take because I didn't really understand it. This is love. I always knew I was different from everyone, but I couldn't put my finger on it. This is love. It's telling me from the inside out. When I was about 14 years old, my dad had approached me, and after having talked with my mother, because I had talked to her about it a little bit, he said, "I heard you want to be the campus faggot," is what he said. It sort of caught me off guard a little bit, and of course I said, no, not at all. And then about a year later, he went, and found my journal and read it, and sat me down at the dinner table and put it on the table and said, "Explain this to me." And at that point I knew, I had to say something to him about it. My dad's a pretty understanding guy. I mean, we didn't have the best relationship, but he definitely had a good head on his shoulders, and so I think it caught him off guard a little bit. I mean, I'm the only son, and it really tore us apart actually at first. I remember storming up to my room, and he followed me and said, "Once you turn 18, I'm done." He said, I'm not about this, and quite frankly, I wish he would have never happened. I will never forget that moment in my life. Evolve with you. It took me a long time to realize what was going through his mind. He had gay coworkers, and one of my mom's best friends was gay, and he never had a problem with them. So I knew that he wasn't homophobic, and I couldn't quite put my finger about why it was such a big deal with me. And my dad's a dad, and he always wants to see the best thing come from his kids, and he wants his kids to be successful, and I think he got scared. I think he got scared because in his mind, he didn't really know too much about, the homosexual lifestyle. All he knew was, everybody goes out and parties, or, multiple sex partners, or, just an abundance of STDs and HIV and AIDS, and you can't help him for not knowing. It was hard for me to think about it, but I sort of had to put it in his perspective. He was an African American who grew up in the South. He spent time in elementary school in closets in private school because his teachers didn't think that he was going to be smart enough to be in the classroom with the rest of the white students. And then going through the 70s with a white girlfriend and later a white wife, it didn't really strike a great note with a lot of people, and I think that he related that back to me. He didn't want me to go through the same type of prejudice that he went through, and I think it made him scared. I'm 24 years old. I've been living on my own since I was 19. I own my own company. I have had a steady job for the last 9 years. I'm a competitive cheerleading coach. At the end of the day, it got better. My dad and I have a great relationship now. We talk all the time. And, there's so many things that I learned from him just about life and how to make the most of it and really just how to succeed no matter what I do. Um, and I'll never forget that. So if you're ever thinking that your parents are going to have a problem, or anybody in your life is going to have a problem with who you are, um, that's quite the contrary in my experience. It wasn't that I was gay, and it wasn't the fact that I was what I was. It was that they didn't love me. It was they loved me for who I was, and nothing can change that. And it gets better. So stay strong. It gets better. Promise.